Hello, I'm Gaby Mendes.
And I'm Felix Kabutey Jr. You are now listening to the Talk Twenties podcast.
This podcast is your ultimate guide to adult life, where we discuss, with the help of our amazing guests, all the things that we were never taught in school.
Adult life can be really isolating as everyone's got their own thing going on. But remember, you're never alone. There are over 7 million of us 20-somethings all trying to figure it out. Let's unpack a new topic in today's episode. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Talk Twenties podcast. If you've not already, make sure you follow and subscribe to make sure you never miss an episode of us in the studio. As you can tell, we're not just wearing this for fun. Today is our Christmas special.
It is, and if you're just listening to the audio of this episode, Felix is currently wearing some Christmas tree glasses. And I've got some, what are these called? Are they called dealy boppers?
I'd say
Happy New Year. What are they called?
I'm not sure. I would have gone for reindeer antlers.
Reindeer antlers or something like that. Happy New Year. Because, like you said, this is our Christmas and New Year episode. We're going to be rounding up our year, talking about 2022, talking about 2023, and what's in store. And we thought we'd have a little chit chat around Christmas, what it's like as a 20-something, our own experiences. And you're in for a treat, guys.
Yeah, definitely. I think Christmas is different for both of us for different reasons. And I think it's different for everyone. Everyone's festive period is kind of different. So hopefully we can explore that today.
Yeah.
But like you said, look back at the year that's just gone and look ahead to the year that's coming. So looking forward to getting into it.
How do you generally feel about end of year time? Are you do you enjoy the end of year time of year? I think I quite like it. I like looking back and I like getting excited about setting goals for next year. I think that's just me. What about you?
I mean, one thing's for certain is I don't like the change of weather.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Even though I live up north, even though I'm based in Manchester where it's normally always raining, the cold always hits me.
Yeah.
And I think it hits more this year because I've just come back from Ghana as well, where it was quite hot. But I feel like when it comes to an end of the year, I tend to do a lot of my reflecting. And then I even start looking ahead to the year that's coming. So even by November, early December, I'm already thinking, okay, what do I want to do differently in January? How do I want to start my year? And why can't I start how I mean to go on?
Yeah.
So definitely get into that reflective mood. And as time goes on, as I start hearing the Christmas songs, I start seeing the decorations. Yeah, this festive move takes me a little bit.
Yeah.
It does. I won't lie.
Are we going to keep these on for the whole episode?
No, let's take them off.
I'm glad you said that.
Let's take them off.
Well, I do feel very Christmassy, not going to lie. I think I put my tree up this weekend. And we're recording this at the end of November, guys, even though you're getting this mid-December. I'm starting to feel quite Christmassy. I do love this time of year, but like you said, the weather is just, I'm currently walking around in a coat that's literally like a duvet. It's literally the best thing ever. And I was saying to Georgia earlier that actually I'm really excited for, we've only known Talk Twenties as a team and working in the office from when it's got dark. And so it's been really weird because at the end we get to work and it's dark and we leave work and it's dark. And I'm actually really excited for the summer when we leave and there's a whole 5-6 hours more of daylight because it will just feel like a whole other day. It just feels like we're going to work and going home at this moment in time. But at the same time, I love the festive period. Can't lie.
Definitely. So, and I feel like the festive period is in full swing this year. When I think back to last year and kind of still, even 2020, yeah. COVID, there was no festive spirit. I don't think you could have expected anyone. I know for me personally, I'm looking forward to putting up my decorations with my family this year. Last year, we didn't bother.
You didn't put up decorations last year?
Didn't put up decorations last year.
Oh, really? What was that? Was that for a particular reason or?
I don't know. I think
just didn't feel it.
Yeah, no one was up for it. My dad didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. My sister didn't say anything.
Do you go mad with your decorations?
My house is well decorated, I won't lie.
Is it?
Yeah.
So to not do it, did that not feel really weird?
It did feel really weird, but it was kind of a period of time where there's so much else going on.
Yeah.
No one wants to say anything.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but my house, I think we're going back for the crown this year.
Yeah. So what are you doing for Christmas this year?
For me, Christmas is all about my family. So definitely a lot of family time. What we would normally do, and this is every year without a fail, is we start off by going to church. firstly showing our gratitude, because I feel like Christmas is the end of the year. You're looking back and you're thankful for being able to make it to the end of the year. So we start off by going to church, seeing family, friends.
It's probably a nice, really like community thing to do.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Was that on Christmas Day as well?
100% Christmas Day. Maybe a few days before we might go for a carol service as well at church. So yeah, that's a
Can't
big
be a good
part
old
of it.
carol service.
Love a good
At Christmas time, that gets you in the mood for sure. Like,
since I was a little boy. Yeah. That's when I'm singing my loudest. So yeah, we go to church, and then it's kind of changed as me and my sisters have got older. When we was younger, my family would be the family to wake up at 6 a.m. opening presents.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
As I got older, I was not doing that. You know, you go through the grumpy teenager stage. You're like, I'm not opening my presents, blah, blah, blah. And then my sisters have also got older. So we don't necessarily wake up at 6 a.m., but probably have a nice cook's breakfast. My mum's an amazing chef, so she always cooks us a nice cook's breakfast. And then we sit around the tables of family, eat breakfast, open presents. And then, yeah, we just really have a nice family-orientated day. Maybe get some visits from aunties, uncles dropping by, presents, or we go visit them. Christmas films, of course. And then everything's gearing up to the big dinner, right? The big Christmas dinner.
So good.
So that's probably the highlight of my day, the Christmas day dinner. What about you?
So for me, like, I live three-ish, 2.5-ish hours away from my mum and dad's house. And so I always try and make sure like that we go back for Christmas. Because I obviously go back home like through different times of the year, but like I would really feel like I'd miss out if I wasn't there at Christmas. And I've got, you know, a young nephew and stuff like that. So like, you know, it's nice when Christmas is like has young kids like around and stuff. But like, because I live closer to my fiance's family, we have tried our best to like split it so that we can see both families on Christmas Day. So we usually wake up or do something on Christmas Eve with his family, and then usually see them like early on Christmas morning, have like a Christmas breakfast, like sausage and whatever. Usually like see them, and then we drive. So usually we leave about like 11 and we get to my mum's for like 1:30, and then we spend the rest of the time there and maybe stay there for a few days. So yeah, we drive on Christmas Day, but I have to say, like, people think it's a bad thing. It is, it flies. It's so fast. It doesn't feel like 2.5 hours.
Empty motorway,
and the roads are clear.
I knew you were
so
gonna say
I
that.
don't actually really mind it. And like, it kind of got into a bit routine. And I even said to like, you know, my grandparents from France are going to be there this year. So there was kind of even more reason for like me wanting to go home. But then I know that he obviously like misses out on the part that he doesn't get to have dinner with his family. And I was like, it's fine if you want to do like it separately. He was like, no, we need to like want to stay together. So I think we're just going to continue doing that. Like, it kind of works. You know, sometimes we might flip it around, but I think just because my grandparents are there, like, we'll probably just still do it this way around. And we take the dog as well. So yeah.
Can't leave Harvey.
Can't leave Harvey.
But yeah, my initial thought when you said that is that's quite long driving on Christmas Day. But I imagine an empty motorway, the Christmas carols on the radio.
Exactly. It's actually really nice. And we usually play games as well. Like, you know, like guess who I'm thinking of, or like, you know, we usually like find some ways to like pass the time as well. So it's never a bad thing.
It's all about the quality time, right? And any way you can get it. And I appreciate some people don't have maybe the biggest families, even if it's just 1, 2 of you. There's little ways to make it as enjoyable as possible.
And even if you're not doing fun things like you're driving, you know, like you can still, there's ways to make it, try and make it fun.
Definitely. I mean, we're both really family orientated there. I'm wondering, do you have any family Christmas traditions, Gaby?
I would just say like, just like my mum, like standard, like my mum's Christmas dinner. Like I think it's just, you know, everyone craves it. Like I'm already dreaming about it now. Like, but on Christmas Day, I think one thing that I noticed that is actually really different from my other, like from Dan's family, is that like you're in my house, like you're not allowed to open a Christmas present at the same time as someone else is opening a Christmas present. Like it has to go in rotation or like you have to just wait until someone else, because like my mum and dad used to get really stressed because there's 4 of us when like we'd run to our like stockings or whatever and we'd just be like tearing all the presents open and they'd be like, they'd spent money on us but they wouldn't get to see each of us individually enjoy opening that present and our reactions to it. So we just built up this kind of rotation. It'd be like, right, are you done? Right, I'm on my next one. Mum, I'm on my next one now. And there's this conversation that goes around that will just be like, you know, we'll have like maybe 4 or 5 presents each and it will have to be like, Sam, it's your turn. Maddie, it's your turn. Like, and I would say that is so different. Whereas like my like Dan and his sister, they just literally all go at once. And I'm sat there like, and Dan's mum is like, you can open any presents. I'm like, yeah. I'm just watching Dan and Grace. And they don't get it because they've just not been a thing in their family. So I didn't realize that was a weird thing until anyone else. So if anyone's listening and they also have to wait to like watch their presents be opened, like Jacob, producer, you have to go in rotation. Do you just rip them open?
A Christmas opening rota, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, you have to like take. Do you just go like you get stock in and you just open all your presents in one go?
To be fair, in my family, when it comes to presents, we kind of everyone gets their pile. If I've bought a gift for you,
you pass it, but you want to see that person's reaction,
Oh
right?
yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm even thinking back to a couple of years ago when I got my mum a very, very sentimental gift, and I kind of like told everyone, like, everyone stop, mum's opening my present.
Yeah, I'm like, watch what I've bought, mum. Like, please, I spent a lot of money on this. Like,
to be fair, I didn't even spend a lot of money. What I did was, so I lost my grandpa in 2018, and my mum was really close to her dad. So what I got is one of their last pictures together. I got it framed, like quite big, and actually, my mum's reaction that day was better than any of the presents I got. So
that's why you buy people gifts, is you want to see people's reaction to it when they open it. So if everyone's opening it at the same time, I just can't get on board with that bandwagon.
I might need to introduce that to my family because I hope my sisters are listening.
It's your turn.
Yeah.
Sis, your turn. Yeah, it's a rule.
But yeah, definitely that's special because sometimes it's not only about receiving, it's about the giving too, right?
Yeah, for sure. What about you? Any family traditions?
So on the presents thing, so it used to be like 6 a.m. sharp.
Yeah.
Maybe not on Christmas as much. One tradition, going to church, that's standard, that's a non-negotiable. But the day after Boxing Day, we stay in our pajamas the whole day.
On the 27th?
The 26th.
On Boxing Day?
On Boxing Day.
You stay in your pajamas all day?
Staying in pajamas all day.
Okay.
Boxing Days, that's like a family tradition.
And it's actually like, I think that's actually what Boxing Day is meant for, isn't it?
Is it?
Like, it's supposed to be like a bank holiday.
Well, don't people go shopping? That's when all the sales are on.
I don't think I've ever been to a Boxing Day sale.
Really? So yes, Gaby, as you know, this is the part of the podcast where we talk a little bit more about our headline sponsor, Zopa Banks.
It feels a little bit uncertain right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does.
But I think one of the things that we wanted to talk about in this ad section was, even though everything seems uncertain, that we should all still be thinking about our future and saving. Like, I'm a big advocate for saving even in tricky times, because future you will always thank you for that.
Yeah, 100%. I always say, do the things your future you will thank you for. And I think saving definitely falls under that.
And even though everything seems uncertain right now, it's best to be prepared for it. So whether you're a freelancer, you're starting your own thing, or you're in like a normal 9-to-5 job, it's important to get some savings behind you because they act as like an element of security, you know? So building up a pot of money is super important to lean on in those times of difficulty.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, my amazing friend, Laura Moore, she's a money and mindset coach.
Oh yeah, I know Laura.
Oh, Laura told me about this Zopa Smart Saver account, where basically you can have lots of different saving goals within one account. You only need like £1 to start, and I think you can save up to like £85,000, which would be nice. So it's an account where essentially you can put all your savings in one place, but you can split it into different pots, which is what I love the most about it.
That sounds so interesting, but I'm just wondering, how does that work? Because whenever I've created a savings account, you know how it gets. It might be a rainy day. How do I then access that money, especially when I am saving for a rainy day?
But the best thing about Zopa is that you can have boosted pots. For example, you said you're saving for a rainy day. I always want to make sure I've got a little bit of money just in case my car breaks down. So for an emergency fund, you would want a pot that you can access straight away. But you still want to earn a good interest rate on that, which you can do through the Zopa app. But say, for example, saving for a holiday, you don't have to open a different account for that. You can still have it in the same account, but put it into a different pot. And the best thing about it is you can boost those pots so that you can earn a higher interest rate on that pot. You have to then give a notice period. And these can range from 7 days to 95 days. And the higher that you go, the more interest that you get. For example, I might be saving for a holiday. I might choose a higher interest rate and boost that pot, but then I would have to give my 7 days notice or 31 days notice prior to wanting to have access to that money. It's really good because it allows you to be flexible with your savings and have different pots for different goals.
I see. This definitely sounds like the vibe. What did you say it's called? The Zopa Smart what?
Yeah, the Smart Saver on the Zopa app. I think you can just download it from the App Store.
Zopa Smart Saver. I've got it here on the App Store.
We definitely need to tell you that all boosted pots are subject to a notice period, the longest of which is 95 days for the highest interest rate. And you need to save a minimum of £1 and the interest is paid monthly and is subject to variation.
See,
I'm trying to think.
I used to work at Next, right?
Okay.
That was like one of my, in fact, it was my
Wow.
first
Okay,
job.
you worked at Next. No wonder you've got a Boxing Day story.
If you know about the Next Boxing Day sale, those of us that have worked there, we have suffered. We have suffered. That job there taught me resilience. It taught me determination. It taught me the true meaning of customer service and the customer's always right. Yeah, that one there.
I bet you met some people like the Christmas Day Boxing
I really did.
Boxing Day sales.
Those sale hunters, they're serious.
Yeah, little bargain hunters.
Literally. So, yeah. So
So
now,
you appreciate it now. You spend it in your pajamas. Like, yeah.
There's no reason for me to step out on Boxing Day. And yeah, my mum loves it. She loves staying in her pajamas, her cup of tea, and then more films, more Christmas films.
Have you got like a favorite Christmas memory that you remember from like being a kid at all?
Ooh, my favorite memory from being a kid. Oh, have to say this one, yeah. So when I used to play football as a kid, I played at a time where Lionel Messi was like coming into his prime.
He's still in his prime. The World Cup.
He's doing his thing, but he's kind of tailing off. I won't lie.
No,
but
I'm joking.
he's Messi.
He's old now. Like,
he's old,
yeah.
He's
and
kind
I'm
of,
probably saying this, and you know, when this comes out, the World Cup will probably be over, and he'll have probably been knocked out. So I'm going to regret saying that.
Are you not back in Argentina?
I don't know. They had a risky first game, didn't they?
They did.
I don't know.
A bit shaky.
Future Gabs. What am I thinking? Don't know.
You never know. This could be his last World Cup.
It could be, yeah.
He's going to give it
as
well.
Oh, no, great player though.
But yeah, great legacy. But literally picture, Messi, right? And there used to be these Adidas F50 boots, right? With like a glass. They weren't glass, but they looked glass to me. As a kid, I looked at these boots and I thought they were like Cinderella slipper or something. The way they had the glass in the back, but it was basically like a see-through.
Yeah.
And you could see like your foot, but it just looked so cool. And I remember telling my mum and dad.
Or your sock. You were wearing socks, right?
We're wearing socks, but it just looks so cool. If people know like the F50s back in the day with the 3 stripes at the front and then like the see-through heel,
yeah,
they were the coolest. And I remember just asking my mum and dad pretty much the whole year. And then I remember I got them, but it was actually my grandpa who arranged for me to get them. So that was always special for me. And I remember, because obviously he was based in Ghana, I was in the UK. I remember opening them up and I just rang him like, oh my days, grandpa, thank you so much. They were actually too small for me.
Oh no.
But because I love them so much, I used to wear them to football and kill my toes.
Oh, you should squeeze your foot into
I was
them.
literally wearing them by fire, by force. But yeah, that's probably one of my best memories. Like,
so nice.
Because I've not been able to spend a lot of time with my grandparents because they live abroad, and I feel like a lot of people with family members abroad don't get to spend
That's
that much
actually
time.
going to be like my favorite Christmas memory is I actually remember like as a kid, like we used to take it in turns like where my family going to France for like Christmas, or where my grandparents coming to me, and like this is the first one in a long time where I'm going to get to spend it with my grandparents. And I can't remember doing that for like probably 5 or 6 years that they were last with us for Christmas. So I would definitely have to say like Christmases spent where like my grandparents were there as well. I think is
those
like
are the
key.
special ones.
Yeah,
those are the special ones, and I
not
think,
anything in particular, just that kind of feeling of like I think a lot of people would say that who've lost, have or separated from or have lost loved ones as well. Those are the good memories.
I wish I definitely got to spend more Christmases in Ghana with my grandparents. And I think the traditions, if I was in Ghana, would be a lot more, a little bit wilder. So and one of the traditions back home in Ghana is you give your family and friends, we call it akoko. It's a chicken.
Just like a full-on chicken?
A live chicken. That's your Christmas present. So obviously
a chicken that's alive?
Yep, and then they got to kill it and obviously cook it for their Christmas dinner.
Oh, I'm not sure what you'd do if you turned on my doorstep with a chicken.
You never know.
Christmas as a 20-something then, because I think for us, like we've probably got quite happy family stories, but no, that's not going to necessarily be the case for every single listener. And I think it can be a really tricky time of year for a 20-something. 100%. I also think it's a really weird time of year because we're also like evolving. You're in that weird phase where lots of people do go back to spend time with family, but like not everyone's going to have the most perfect, well, no one really has the most perfect family situation. And like, there's always a few like little squabbles, or so-and-so said this or so-and-so said that. Like, and like, I think that like, although we're like reminiscing and we're having like, we talk very fondly about our families, like that doesn't mean to say that like there are difficult moments that happen 100%. At Christmas. And like, if people are listening and thinking, my Christmas doesn't sound like that, like, trust me, there are hard times as well. And I think like, don't feel alone if like your Christmas isn't as perfect, because I think a lot of people put a lot of pressure on like Christmas to be this most perfect day. And like realistically, although like I've got like a few key memories, like there's sometimes the expectation of and the excitement around Christmas you get to Christmas Day and you're thinking, oh, I've been excited about this for ages. And what doesn't always pay off. So
for some people it's another day really, isn't it?
It is just another day. Some people do have to work on Christmas Day, like nurses, doctors and all of that kind of thing, or they're separated from their family, or they're just not in touch with their family anymore. And I think 20s is actually a really weird period where, also like I think it's nice to spend time with family, but you do come up like with challenges of like, especially if you start like getting into relationships and stuff like that with like, whose family do you spend it with? And for some people it's a really easy conversation, like you split it, but like I can't say that it's been easy for us to find that way where we drive to different parts of the country like throughout Christmas Day. If people start having families and stuff like that, and then you get into different situations where who's having Christmas with this, and like, although it's like it should be a happy time, like for everyone, it's not always a happy time, and I think it's important to like chit chat about that as well.
Yeah, and I wonder why that's the case. I mean, as we get older, apart from realizing certain Christmas fairy tales aren't true, I don't want to ruin everything. I don't want to ruin anything.
I believe in Santa.
But generally, like as I got older, and I've also seen it in my sisters as well as they've got older, like the joy isn't there as much. So it really does.
And that's
make
okay,
you think,
like because you can talk about and be excited for Christmas, but like, it's okay for it to not feel wonderful as well at the same time. Like,
100%. I think for me, as I've stepped into my 20s, I've really put a focus on like my family and everything. And for me, it's never a case of on the 25th, we sit around the table as a happy family. No, you need to try your best to go through the year leading up to that day.
To have that whole year round thing, isn't it?
So that's what I've kind of been focused on. I guess that's one of the changes as a 20-something. You've gone from me, I want, to more thinking about the people around you. That's one thing that's changed for me.
It's really interesting. And I think like probably like you obviously like reflecting there on like the way that you are like throughout the year. Like looking back at 2022 then and like your year, like how would you say, do you have one word that would describe the year or a few words that would describe your 2022?
Busy, for lack of a better word, but no. Busy is a key theme, but busy in a good way. I think I've been privileged enough to do a lot this year, from starting on this podcast journey, gaining my master's, getting into a great relationship, building a great bond with my family, going back to my roots and seeing everything like that. So really, really grateful for that. I think one thing that I've kept saying to myself is I'm taking up all my opportunities because I know what it feels like to have no opportunities. And I think that's been a real key theme throughout the year. And I've just been feeling so blessed and just really grateful to God for, really just kind of guiding my life, because there were some dark times, but I feel like 2022, I kind of built on everything I was working on throughout 2021. I kind of say I planted the seeds in 2021 and I saw them begin to blossom this year.
Really interesting. So on the whole, quite a positive year for you then?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, with some lows though. Like I'm even thinking one of my lows or one of my failures this year is I fractured my shoulder back in June, and I realized that was the most inconvenient thing at the time. I literally had a dissertation to write. It was in my right arm as well.
So you couldn't even write your dissertation?
I couldn't type fast enough. At that time, I was needed for like running errands with my mum at the time. Couldn't drive.
Oh gosh.
Couldn't really work.
Oh, she had some big events on as well, didn't she?
My
God,
mum
you
and
no
dad.
help.
My mum and dad celebrated their 25th anniversary. And all my mum said to me is, "You're so inconsiderate." Like,
how could you fracture your shoulder?
Like literally, she was like, "You better be ready on the day." I was like, "Mum, I can't do this." At that point, I just felt hopeless, in the sense of I just felt useless in that time. But yeah, luckily overcame that and still had a great year. What about yourself?
2022, and really like a roller coaster year, I would say. It started on like a high, like quite a big high, and then I would say like took a big dip like around like March, April time. Then I got engaged, so another high, like fantastic. And then June, July, and August again like a bit roller coastery, and then I would say like once you and Georgia joined the team, like in October, like we're back on a high again. Like I think it's pretty normal for like as a business owner and like doing the job that I do to experience like a roller coaster. Like everyone says that in like business and stuff. So like, but personally and professionally, I would say like on the whole, like quite a positive year with some really challenging times in there too. Like I look back at my journals from like March, April last year. This 2022. And like, I was like really like struggling with a few different things that I've had to like address and like work on for sure. But like, I definitely say that I'm grateful for 2022. Like, and like what it taught me, even though some of those like lessons were like difficult in the moment, I think.
100%. I really like that you touched on that, Gabby, because as well as recognizing the highs that you had, you recognize the lows as well. And I feel like the lows made you appreciate the highs even more.
So true. Because I think if you just go through life and it's like, smashing it. Like my friend keeps texting me like, you're like the Hulk because you keep smashing it or something, because we have like won a couple of awards recently and stuff like that. And you always, and I think that's probably like what she sees on social media as well. Like, oh, you're smashing it. Like you're seeing so many positive things. But I think like I always remind people like, everything that you see on social media isn't always just like everything. Like it's also like it is just the best moments. And we're very fortunate to have had quite a few really nice moments this year. But I would say mixed, but also really positive. And I'm actually really so excited for 2023 and like what's in store.
Oh, give me one highlight and one lowlight then of your 2022. One
highlight. Highlight just has to be. I have a personal one and a professional one. Personal, obviously. Getting engaged, like I've been with my partner for like close to 9 years now. So it will actually be 9 years on the day this episode comes out, 13th of December. If you're listening on the 13th, that's when I met Dan 9 years ago. And then professionally, like I have to say, like you and Georgia joining the team, like having two people who share your vision for what you're doing, like it's just made me so appreciate. Like not everyone gets to do this, and like the fact that I get to work with two people who have amazing ideas and bring fantastic things to the business, I just count my lucky stars like every day. So I would say they're my highlights. And then my low moments, I would say like, business, like learning to be a business owner in your 20s is hard. Like, and there's going to be people who try and support you, but maybe have different interests at heart. And like I would probably say trusting too much, like, or trusting that other people know better than you, and actually your business yourself. I think maybe I made a few wrong turns there, but I wouldn't be sat here if I hadn't. So
got to your destination in the end,
exactly,
right? And you're still on the way.
It's not a bad thing, and I'm glad I went through those tougher times as well. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah. So in terms of 2023, then, what are you thinking? What are your goals? What are your plans?
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful it can be a continuation of 2022, but I definitely know there's some improvements to make on the way. I think, like I said, I know what it's like when to have no opportunity. So when they was coming, I was like, let me take them more. But now it's a time to kind of refine, refocus, and just really like relentlessly just focus on what's important to me. I feel like I said, I've said on a previous episode, but I work on 3 basic principles. That's my physical health, my mental health, and my spiritual health. I feel like if they're all in good nick, then it benefits my personal life, my professional life, just everything. And I feel like there's never been a time when all those 3 are up there. It's kind of like...
It's always changing.
Yeah, it's always changing.
I feel like even if you get them all up there, the next day it will change.
It literally that. But I started to think, why is that? Is that like, am I not being consistent? For example, I can count on one hand how many times I've been to the gym this year. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, just really being intentional, consistent, and yeah, just really identify what my goals are, what's important to me, and just working towards that. Because like I said, there's so much noise out there right now, so many other things happening, and it's something that we've been speaking about in terms of the business.
We've been speaking about it a lot.
Yeah, but just being able to see above the crowd, I believe the saying is, or hear past the noise, and
zoom out. I keep hearing people saying like zoom out and like look at the perspectives of everything.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually read that book that Timmy suggested about zooming out, because sometimes that's all you need. Yeah, that's all you need
for sure.
What about yourself then? 2023 is fast approaching.
It is, and I think the thing that you mentioned there about kind of like learning to say like no to some things and like yes some things. So we're very lucky to be like offered like lots of opportunities with Talk 20s, and lots of people coming in to like give their advice and their support on like what we should do next. But like as a team of 3, we can't possibly say yes to everything. And I think I've probably like in the past couple of months have tried always, because my family have always been like, you must take every opportunity that comes your way, like don't close any doors. And I've always like had that mindset, but like actually, if you do say yes to anything, you will reach burnout. And I think, it's just about choosing like what your clear focus is and then moving forward, and also making sure that you get like the basics right as well. So like, you know, podcast, like one simple thing, like make sure that, you know, the listeners are getting exactly what they want, the guests that they want, you know, and we're putting all our energy into that and our socials and stuff like that before we start thinking about a million other things, which of course we definitely want to do in the future, but it's about getting the basics like optimized before start juggling a million other things.
That's so
and
true.
As everyone I've said on my podcast before, I'm easily distracted. Like you only have to send me one LinkedIn message saying, do you want to do this or do you want to do that? And I'll be like, oh, do I want to do that? Like, I don't know. Like, and I will definitely consider it. So I just like, I have to kind of rein it in sometimes and go, actually, like there's only so many hours in a day. And although these things sound amazing, like some of these opportunities, like you have to kind of pick and choose.
So true. Gaby, you've lined me up for one of my classic one-liners. You're making it too easy at this point.
God, we need to trademark all of these.
I always say there's some things that you can do and things you should do.
Yeah.
And I feel like that really helps you just...
I do a lot of cans.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I sometimes forget the shoulds.
Yeah.
No,
you should be doing the should before the can. And you don't always have to do the can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think the best way to make that decision is by setting goals. Yeah. That's probably the clearest way. So what would you say are your 3 goals for the new year?
So my 3 goals for the new year are to... Well, we always talk about this in the business, is to experiment and optimize. So, you know, like making sure that we are like providing the best resources and platform that we can for our listeners. Personally, I want to book my wedding and get all of that planned. And then I think like, you know, growing and evolving the Talk 20s team and like how that looks and, you know, what our next projects are going to be is like probably my 3. 2 work, 1 personal. What about you?
Nice. I'll start with a personal. So I'm going to be turning 25 next year.
Cool, mid-20s.
And I just want to step into that stage of my life, just really content, you know, with whatever's happened at that time, good or bad, just really content with where I am and not look back with any kind of doubt, regret, or get too far ahead of myself. Like, oh, I should be doing this. Now I'm 25. Just be content with where I am and be grateful in that sense. I'll go for another personal because you did as well. Really value my relationships, both with my girlfriend, my family, my friends, because I've been so busy for the past few years. I feel like sometimes I've not been as present as I'd like to. Yeah. I hate to say neglected.
But like not been present.
Literally, I know what you mean. Like as much as I would like to, because I'm, like I said, I'm really family orientated, want to be there for my people. So just a lot more intentional and present for them in whatever they're doing, because they're part of my journey, you know? So whatever I go through, I want them to go through it with me, and whatever they go through, I want to be there as well. Work-wise, I really want to step into my roles, especially with Talk 20s. So as head of mission and community, I really want to grow our community and meet our people. So I'm coming for you all.
That sounded like vindictive. It's like, I'm coming for you.
Sounding like Nelson or someone.
We should probably talk about our workshop that we are going to do in January, completely free for our community. But we're going to do a bit of like a goal setting workshop. We put each other on the spot here talking about our goals for 2023. But like we are as a team really love goal setting, you know, like planning like what we're going to do, because we all believe you have to be intentional with your goals. And that is so important when, especially in your 20s, about being intentional about what you want to do, where you're going to get to, and all those kind of things. So we're going to do a goal setting workshop on the 5th of January, 7 p.m.
It's a Thursday.
It is a Thursday. And yeah, we would love to see as many of our listeners in our community there as possible. You know, all of us are going to be there as a team planning the workshop, and you know, it's a chance for you to really start to look at the year ahead and think about the goals. We'll have a bit of structure in there so you can kind of come along and you don't feel like you have to really think about it beforehand. It can come with ideas, or hopefully we'll give you ideas from the workshop as well, which I think will be a really nice opportunity to meet some other community and like have a little chat about what we're hoping to achieve in 2023. And I think another thing about goal setting is accountability. So if you rock up to that workshop, that's you saying like, I am so ready for 2023, and I'm gonna, it's gonna be a good year.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna be in a virtual room with like-minded people, and it's gonna be amazing. And we can all strive towards having a great year and hold each other accountable.
So people up and down the country, you know, based in the UK, maybe even outside of the UK, if you're listening outside of the UK, be UK time 7 p.m. And we can all join and, you know, set our goals for 2023.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. It really means the world for you to tune into any one of our episodes across this whole year. Obviously, we've gone through a huge relaunch just only like a few months ago. And so to be sat here now talking about Christmas and New Year and everything that we're hoping to achieve, we cannot do it without you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in to 1, 2, 3, 5, however many episodes you've tuned into of Talk 20s this year. It means the absolute world to us. And we just hope that you have, you know, the very best Christmas. And, you know, we're excited to see what's in store for 2023.
Yeah. And I'm going to say it again without a tear in my eye and a choke in my throat. We're building a community, aren't we? So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys, for listening. And we'll see you in 2023.
A big thank you to you, yes you, for tuning into this episode of the Talk 20s podcast.
We hope it inspired you in some way and popped a little pep in your step for this week.
Make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with a friend. It means a lot to us to have your support.
We also love hearing your stories and suggestions. You can reach out to us on all socials by searching at Talk 20s.
Lastly, before we go, our website, talk20s.com, is the hub for all things 20-somethings. Go check out, my people.
Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.